Hola, tudubem, konnichiwa. Hello, ¿cómo estás? What it do? Thank you for listening to this episode of the J-Boy Sports Podcast. And what we are going to discuss is Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony! My guy, man. My guy. Everybody's guy. I never heard anybody that dislikes Melo, except a few people that just kind of, try to poke fun at him for no reason whatsoever. Most of us like Melo, though. Melo is a guy most of us like. And what we're going to discuss today is Melo talking about some of the changes that kind of happened in the NBA and some of the things that they were asking him to do that really slowed his career, in my opinion. I'm a firm believer that Melo was blackballed out of the NBA. There's a lot of reasons why. I think one of the reasons why is because this is not a shot, in this case, at LeBron, but I think he was still too far close to LeBron in points. Melo was, I think, had the second most active points amongst players that was playing, and I don't think they wanted him to be that close to LeBron. I think they wanted more the emphasis to be on Bron. Nobody else is really close. I think Kevin Durant is the next guy up. So there's that, but I think part of the reason they blackballed Melo is because of that, because he was scoring too similar to LeBron James. Now, this, I don't know how true that is. This is literally just an assumption or an idea on my part. I can't 100% prove it. Or better yet, I haven't tried to 100% prove it. It's just an idea. Don't send me to jail if you don't like it. I'm not writing it in stone. But what I'm saying is I do think that had something to do with it. And they just blackballed him in general. They did not want Melo in the league anymore. And I think they tried to outlaw his style, which is a shame because he's one of the best players I've ever seen. And Melo is in my top 5, at worst, top 10 scorers of all time. I really believe he's top 5. I have to look at my list again. And one day I'm going to put out a list for, where I rank some of these players. But he's in my top 5. I think he's in my top 5. I'm pretty sure he's in my top 5. So he's going to discuss when he went to the Rockets. At one point, I believe he was on the Knicks. Then they traded him to the Thunder, and that didn't work out. And then they traded him to the Rockets. And on the Rockets, I actually thought he was doing good, and then they just let him go. And to our knowledge, he's never said it was anything he did. It was just them changing what they wanted. But check out what he said they said to him, which is the disturbing part, in my opinion.
I get to Houston. The talk is you the missing piece. This first preseason game, let me find the rhythm. I get it, shot fake, 1-2 dribble, pull up, bang. They like, no! It's a clip of me laughing, running back down the court like, yo, my bad. And I caught myself. And this is where like ego comes into play because I'm like, you want me to take away everything that I built my career off of. This is why people know me. This is why people would want me on the team, especially with this team. This is what is missing. You're missing a post-up guy, somebody who can draw double teams. You're missing somebody who can score 4 or 5 different levels. So for me to come back and practice that week, they put something on the board that says shots per game, what we should score on fast breaks per game, what we should score on free throws per game. Mid-range, 12 or less. They break down the mid-range. Who gets to shoot mid-range? CP and me is the only one who do mid-range on that team. Yeah, I'm thinking, all right, cool. You gonna say CP, you got 6. Melo, you got 6. Nah, we want CP shooting majority because he's really effective and efficient. I say, duh. What's up with me? Melo, we gonna throw you 1 or 2 down there. Throw me what? Talking about ego now. I had to really check my ego. I didn't argue it. I accepted it. They told me I was coming off the bench the day of the game. You brought me here to win a championship for what I bring to the table. And then you tell me, don't bring what you bring to the table. We want to win a championship with how we see you. Now, I can do what you want me to do. I'm not going to be as effective with that, though. And I can't come out the gate and shoot 10 to 13 threes a game without me getting to my bread and butter. So think about the mental aspect of that.
So that's Carmelo Anthony describing his outlook on what they were telling him on the Rockets. And it's pretty disturbing, man. When I listen to this, I actually have a serious issue with this, man. This is why I really don't believe that people know how to play basketball anymore. That includes players in the NBA. And you may say, oh, Jay Boyks, you ain't never played on no level like that. You never played in college. You didn't really play in high school like that. Oh, you know, you don't really do this. You don't really do that. Fine. That's fine. You can say all that stuff. That's true. But that doesn't mean I don't know or understand basketball, because I do. I understand and I know basketball. Trust me, I understand and I know basketball. It doesn't matter if I coach something or don't, or played somewhere or don't. I can tell you what a good play is. And you know what? If I was talking to somebody that really knows the game and I said certain things to them, let that be the judge. Right? But just discrediting somebody because they didn't do or have the credentials that you think they are, or I'm not an NBA analyst on ESPN, doesn't mean I don't know the game. Common sense is common sense. And if you really know something, all you have to do is apply common sense, and it works. Trust me. I guarantee that. I will stamp that. What Melo is saying disturbs me, because you're basically saying, oh, we're just only going to shoot threes. We're not going to play any other part of the game. And that's wrong for a couple of reasons. But I thought it was hilarious how he said, no, like after he made a mid-range shot. That's mad stupid, bro. That's mad stupid and dumb. So he can't shoot mid-range shots. You need twos also to win basketball games, do you not? One of the reasons we look at some of these people's shooting percentages and we think, oh, this is such a better error, they're so more efficient, it's because they only shoot threes or layups. That's it. So either you shoot a three or you shoot a layup. There's nothing in between. So yeah, you're going to have these higher percentages. You look at Carmelo's percentage, you be like, Melo wasn't that good. You look at Kobe's, you look at Allen Iverson's, you look at Vince, you look at T-Mac. They shot mid-range jumpers too, guys. Three-point percentage is like its own separate thing. Field goal percentage adds three-point percentage, but also looks at all the other shots. If you shoot heavy mid-range, even if you can make them, you're probably not going to make more mid-range shots than layups. Mid-range is much, much harder. So that lowers the field goal percentage of some of these guys. We'll get into that in another video, because that really drives me nuts. This efficiency idea, and oh, they're so efficient. But they only want layups or threes. So Melo's sitting up here, he's trying to, play his game, and they got mad at him. And he said, I thought they were bringing me in to be the missing piece. And also he mentioned, the post-up game, I'm a 4 or 5 level scorer. That's what makes Melo so nice. And in my opinion, you might be hearing this first from me on this channel, I think Melo is a better scorer than Kevin Durant. I've seen this debate, and maybe one day I'll put it up on the channel and we'll talk about it, but I think Melo is better. Melo is a much better post player than Kevin Durant. Why does that matter? It matters because there's not really a lot you could do to stop Carmelo Anthony without a double team. If he gets low in the box in the paint, you're done. He's not settling for three-point shots and pick and rolls and all these dumb shots that I see people taking today, and you wonder why they can't score. I believe that Rockets team the year after he was there, I don't think it was the year he was there, I think it was the year after, or was it the year before? I don't remember. Somewhere around there. That's the same team that missed like 27 straight threes and lost to the Golden State Warriors, and they could have beat them. Can you imagine if Carmelo was still on that team, shooting up the mid-range, getting in the post, getting busy? They would have won. Maybe, because, people discredit Melo's defense. That might be the weakness there, possibly. But as far as scoring, you ain't missing 27 shots with Carmelo Anthony on your team. Right now, you're not missing 27 straight shots with Melo on the team. That's how good he was and why I think he was blackballed. So, they're telling him, don't shoot the mid-range, don't post up. That's not basketball, man. That's not basketball. If you have the advantage on a smaller person, you post them. You make them come double team you. You force that. You force their hand. That's how you play the game, inside out. Just chucking up threes, he even said, you're not going to let me get to my bread and butter, but you want me to take 10 to 13 threes, like off rip. And that's why that Rockets team never won anything. And he said, they were like, oh, CP3 shoots mid-range because he's the best. He's one of the best mid-range shooters. He's like, duh. Yeah, we know that, obviously. But, it just, when I heard this, it really bothers me, man, because even when I go to the gym or to the park or wherever I'm playing ball, people don't play the in-between game no more, man. It's just all threes with long rebounds that lead to fast breaks and other dumb stuff, and you're not controlling the offense, or they got to get a layup. But the layups come too because people ain't playing no defense. KD and LeBron look better now than they did when they were younger because the lane is wide open and there's less attention to defense by most teams, not all, by most. So, you know, and you're going to tell me Melo couldn't be playing right now with his skill set, with what he was able to do? Please. If you gave him 20 shots, he's going to get close to 25, 30 points a night. I still believe that. If you gave him that many shots. You know, there's a video of him cooking up Zion. Zion's supposed to be the right here and now, looking silly against Carmelo Anthony. That's how good he was, man. That's how good he was. And it's a shame they blackballed him. But this is disgusting on all fronts to me. Telling a man he can't really shoot the mid or get in the post. And look at James Harden, man. This is why James Harden is one of the best scorers I've ever seen, but he don't rank higher than Melo for me. And the reason he doesn't rank higher than Melo for me because he's a one-trick pony. Either them step-back threes are going in, or he's trying to draw a fake foul. You know, and that's it. And when they started limiting some of them fouls, he took a hit. You know what I mean? And that's not because he's not good, but he was just kind of eating off of something that was broken. You know, manipulating it. Melo was the real deal, man. The real deal. You're not going to see him miss 27 straight shots because he's got an array that he could score from. That's why it matters. Ladies and gentlemen, mainly gentlemen. That's why it matters. That's why you need to be able to score on all four levels. That's why you should be a good free throw shooter. That's why you should be a good finisher. That's why you should have a good post-up game. That's why you should be able to finish in the paint. That's why you want to have a good mid-range. That's why you want to have moves out of the mid-range. The one dribble pull-up, the two dribble pull-up, three dribble pull-up, whatever. That's why it is good to have a step back if you want to get that too. That's good too. That's why you want to have the three ball. All of those things matter when it comes to being a great scorer. But if you look at the best guys ever, you're talking about mid-range, post-up, one dribble, two dribble, three dribble pull-ups, some step backs in there too. And then they can shoot the three. But if you just mastered that area of the game, you're one of the best of all time. Automatically. Because what can you do to stop a person that mastered that area? If I'm in the mid-range and I got a crazy one dribble pull-up, what are you going to do? You jump forward, I draw the foul. You jump forward, I go by you, I'm in the paint. If I can finish or whatever the case, now you're done. So it bothers me because if they made Melo do this, what do you think they're doing to the rest of the players in the league? I ask myself all the time, I be watching James Harden like, bro, just shoot the mid. They're taking away the three, they're staying on the side of you. You got a wide open mid-range jumper, bro. Shoot it. The lane's closed. Just shoot the step back mid. Won't do it. And he's not the only person. A lot of these people, man, I get it because that's what's being pushed, but it's terrible, man. It's terrible for the game. It makes the game way more boring. It really does. And also takes away from the abilities of great players. Everybody can't be a great three-point shooter. There's only one Steph. There's only one Clay. There's only one Reggie. There's only one Ray. Like, these dudes are anomalies, man. Normal people don't shoot like this, no matter how much you practice. So, I just thought that I would share this with you guys because I heard it and it bothered me, man. And if you really like basketball, you know, it's something that will bother you because you're used to playing the game all the way around. You're not used to having to only do one thing. And the other thing, it makes you predictable. We're going to do a video later in the week about how teams are really predictable. You know, you look at some of these great players, that's why they keep losing the games the same way. You're predictable. You're only going to shoot one shot, and we know where it's coming from. So if you're making it, we're you know, it's going to be a long night. If you're not making that shot, you don't got another one. And that's why it was hard to stop people like Melo. You stop this, I go here. You stop that, I go here. You stop this, I go here. You stop that, I go to this other one. You stop all those, I go back to the first one. And now you don't know which one I'm going to do. So now it's hard to figure it out. That's basketball, right? That's basketball. Having a counter for a counter. It's a chess move for, you know, It's a chess move. It's not really checkers. You can be a really good player and play checkers, no doubt. But the greatest guys, it's chess. It's mental. It's how many ways can I destroy you, right? So thank you for listening to this episode of the J-Boy Sports Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe if you liked what you listened to. Also, please hold on for a little bit when the video ends because towards the ending, I also suggest some other videos that you might be interested in. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony. I feel like I always need to say that, even though I don't need to say that. Just one of my favorite players. I really listen when Carmelo talks for the most part. There's some things that Melo says that I'm like, okay, Melo. But I mean, that's everybody, right? That's everybody. But overall, I like a lot of what Melo brings. This dude got to be one of the coolest people on the planet, like no doubt. And I don't mean that. I don't say that with no Diddy attached to it. Let's put a Diddy on it. Let's put a no Diddy on that. But dude just seems cool, man. Like you hang out with him, it just seems cool to hang out with him. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know what I mean? Some people just got the aura. And I think Melo's one of those people. And pause no Diddy on that once again because I just don't like the way that sounds coming out of my mouth. Pause no Diddy on that as well. We're just going to pause it all. Pause everything that you heard in the last 20 seconds. All right? Thank you once again. Like, share, and subscribe. Please wait for the suggested videos. Much love. That somehow you'll never get over leaving me. And when you feel like coming